The galaxy was vast and quiet in the void between stars, yet on the edges of the vault or cluster, a storm was brewing. Alien warships, sleek and sharp, moved like predators through the blackness, their sensors scanning every inch of space. Commander Zarvok, the leader of the Cathari fleet, leaned over the holographic battle map in his command bridge. The stars reflected on his dark, scaled skin as he calculated his next move. Victory was nearly in his grasp. The human forces were scattered and isolated across the sector. Zarvok's claws tapped against the console. Target the northern wing. Their defenses are weak. Move fast. Finish them before reinforcements arrive. His officers obeyed immediately, sending a swarm of agile fighters toward the human positions. The Cathari were known for their precision, efficiency, and ruthless tactics. Zarvok had never lost a battle, and this campaign would be no different. On the distant edge of the battlefield, the humans were preparing to regroup. Their ships were battered and outnumbered, yet there was a spark of determination in their eyes. Captain Alina Rurk, a young but brilliant human tactician, stood on the bridge of the Shadow Falcon, a stealth ship unlike any other. Its sleek black hull absorbed light, making it nearly invisible against the backdrop of space. "Sensors show the enemy is moving to cut us off," her first officer reported, his voice tense. "If they reach us, we could lose the Northern Fleet entirely." Alina's green eyes scanned the holographic display, thinking fast. "Not if we do this right," she said calmly. "Prepare the stealth drive. We're going to make their attack uncomfortable." The Shadow Falcon shivered as its engines roared silently, activating the new human cloaking technology. Even the most advanced alien sensors could not detect them. The humans had spent years developing ways to outsmart enemies, relying not on brute force but on cunning, creativity, and speed. And now, the time had come to test it. Far above the battlefield, Zarvok's fleet advanced. Alien fighters streaked across the void, firing energy bolts that burned through space like comets. The Cathari were confident. Their sensors showed nothing unusual. There was no sign of the stealth ship, yet suddenly chaos erupted. From seemingly nowhere, a wave of attacks struck the Cathari's flank. Ships exploded in bursts of fire, their hulls torn apart by weapons that seemed to strike with impossible precision. Zarvok slammed his claw on the console. "What is happening?" he roared, his voice echoing through the command chamber. "Commander, sensors show an unidentified vessel," one officer shouted, but the display revealed nothing. The attacks continued, coming from a direction no ship could have reached so quickly. Alina's voice came over a secure channel, calm and steady. "Commander Zarvok, we see you have underestimated humans. We do not wish to destroy you completely, but we will defend ourselves and any others who are caught in this war, if necessary." Zarvok froze. No one had ever dared speak to him like that, not even in private. The aliens had always relied on intimidation and strength. But this human, alone in a stealth ship, was striking fear into his fleet with words and action combined. The Shadow Falcon moved like a shadow of light, appearing and disappearing at will. Alina coordinated each strike, sending her torpedoes into weak points in the alien formations, sabotaging engines and disabling weapons systems without ever being detected. Every time Zarvok tried to trap her, she had already vanished. In the alien command chamber, panic began to spread. Officers argued over what to do next. Zarvok's usual calm demeanor was cracking under the pressure. "Focus on the source of the attack. I want that ship destroyed." Now, but every attempt to locate the human vessel failed. It was as if the ship could see into their tactics before they even made them. Every human strike seemed deliberate, intelligent, and perfectly timed. Alina remained composed, her fingers dancing across the console as she issued commands to her small fleet of human escorts, who mirrored her movements, striking at Cathari supply ships and creating chaos behind enemy lines. They were a small force, yet their impact was enormous. One of Zarvok's advisors, an older and cautious officer named Vrel, approached him. "Commander, their technology is extraordinary, but more than that, these humans are not predictable. Their minds think differently. We cannot anticipate their next move." Zarvok narrowed his eyes. "Then we adapt. We have superior firepower and our numbers are unmatched. We will crush them." He gave orders to deploy a concentrated attack pattern, hoping sheer force could overwhelm the human stealth ship. Hundreds of Cathari fighters swarmed the coordinates where they last detected the Shadow Falcon. Energy beams streaked across the void, illuminating the darkness with deadly light. But the human ship was gone. It had slipped past their sensors, appearing behind their formation in a blink. Explosions rocked the fleet as torpedoes struck vital engines, sending capital ships spiraling out of control. Zarvok's officers screamed in panic as their precious fleet crumbled. Alina's voice came over the comm again, calm and almost soothing. "Commander Zarvok, we are not your enemies if you choose reason over destruction. But continue this path, and you will see that even the largest fleet cannot match human determination and ingenuity." The audacity of the message stunned Zarvok. No alien race had ever dared speak so boldly, and certainly not while dismantling their forces. He had faced many enemies, but this was unlike anything he had experienced. On the human side, morale soared. Even damaged ships that had been cornered now moved with renewed energy, inspired by the stealth ship's brilliance. Alina coordinated rescue operations for isolated crews, guiding them back into safer positions while continuing to harass the enemy. Her strategy was precise, her timing flawless, and her ability to predict alien maneuvers uncanny. Hours passed in the void, and the Cathari fleet had suffered severe losses. Ships that were once feared across the galaxy now floated as wreckage among the stars. Zarvok's pride was wounded, but more than that, his curiosity was piqued. How could a single human ship be so effective? How could one mind predict and counter the tactics of an entire fleet? He called a private meeting with his senior officers. "We cannot win this battle with traditional methods," he admitted, his voice low and controlled. "These humans are different. Their minds are sharper, faster, and more unpredictable than anything we have seen. We must rethink our strategy entirely." Back aboard the Shadow Falcon, Alina watched the alien fleet falter through her sensors. She allowed herself a brief smile. The humans were outnumbered, yet outwitting the enemy gave them a chance to survive, to change the course of the war. Her crew, tired but focused, trusted her completely. She knew that the battle was not over, but humanity had already shown it was not a species to be underestimated. As the first light of a distant sun glimmered across the horizon of a nearby planet, the stealth ship vanished into the darkness once more, leaving the alien fleet in disarray. Zarvok stared at the empty coordinates, stunned and troubled. For the first time in his life, he faced an enemy he could not predict, and perhaps one he could not defeat by force alone. Alina spoke to her crew, her voice steady and confident. "We've made our presence known. The galaxy knows humans are here. And if they attack others, we will be there. Always." The Shadow Falcon moved silently, a shadow among the stars, signaling that humanity had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same. The galaxy had never seen a force like the humans. After the unexpected appearance of the Shadow Falcon, the Cathari fleet reeled in confusion. Ships that once moved with flawless precision now stumbled, their formations breaking apart under the cunning and unpredictability of human tactics. Commander Zarvok paced the floor of his flagship, claws tapping rhythmically on the metallic deck. His mind raced, trying to anticipate the moves of a species that seemed to think faster than any alien mind he had encountered. "We cannot continue like this," Vrel said quietly, approaching Zarvok's side. "Every strategy we use, they counter before we even execute it. Their small fleet has caused more damage than our combined forces should allow." Zarvok's eyes narrowed. "They are small but clever," he admitted. "And their unpredictability, it is terrifying. We will not underestimate them again. Prepare a secondary assault. We will corner them no matter what it takes." Meanwhile, across the battlefield, the Shadow Falcon glided silently through space, invisible to alien sensors. Captain Alina Rurk observed the enemy from her command console, her calm voice guiding her crew. "Adjust positions. The northern supply convoy will move first. Prepare for diversionary strikes," she instructed. "We need to split their attention and weaken their lines before they regroup." Her small fleet of human ships, damaged but undeterred, followed her orders with precision. Every ship knew its role, moving like a single organism with one goal: survival and victory through intelligence and creativity rather than sheer force. At the same time, Cathari engineers worked frantically to repair damaged vessels. Sparks flew in the corridors as technicians patched hull breaches and recalibrated weapons. Yet every time they thought they had stabilized the situation, another strike hit, often in the most unexpected location. Zarvok's confidence began to falter. "Alina," one of his officers whispered, How do they know every weakness, every pattern? She smiled slightly. Because we observe, we adapt, and we think differently. Humans do not fight like machines. We fight like minds with imagination, courage, and creativity. From a hidden vantage point behind an asteroid belt, the humans launched their first major coordinated attack of the day. Torpedoes streaked silently through space, cutting off the Cathari supply convoy. Alien ships fired back, but their sensors could not detect the cloaked human fleet. Explosions erupted in the dark, lighting up distant stars with fiery bursts. Zarvok roared in frustration as his fleet suffered heavy losses. Focus! Focus on them, he ordered, but his officers were overwhelmed. They are not following logic, one cried. No strategy works. Elena's voice came over intercepted channels, calm but commanding. Commander Zarvok, your fleet is impressive, but it is not enough. You fight with fear and force. We fight with reason, adaptability, and ingenuity. The choice is yours. Change your ways or continue to lose. Her words caused an unexpected effect among the Cathari soldiers. Some hesitated, questioning the orders they had been following without question for decades. Others were too focused on survival to answer, but the seeds of doubt had been planted. Humans had a power beyond their weapons, the power of strategy, logic, and influence. Hours later, the humans shifted tactics. Instead of attacking directly, they sabotaged alien communications, intercepted data streams, and created false signals that confused enemy sensors. Ships that had been sent to attack found themselves surrounded by phantom fleets, forcing them to retreat or be destroyed. On the Cathari flagship, Zarvok's frustration reached a peak. They are ghosts. They are everywhere and nowhere. How is this possible? Vrel approached cautiously. Commander, we have not considered the possibility that humans think several steps ahead. They predict our actions and manipulate our perception. Perhaps brute force is not the solution. Zarvok's scaled face hardened. Then we must think like them. Observe, predict, and adapt. Prepare our fastest vessels. We will chase them to the edge of the system if we must. But even as the Cathari mobilized, the humans anticipated every move. Elena studied the alien fleet carefully. They will try to trap us. Let them. We will use their aggression against them. Target their rear formations first. Draw them in. The plan worked perfectly. The humans led a group of Cathari fighters into a carefully designed ambush near a dense asteroid field. Mines disguised as debris detonated when the aliens entered, damaging engines and throwing formations into chaos. The stealth ships then struck with precision torpedoes, disabling critical systems. One by one, the enemy fighters were destroyed or forced to retreat. Back on the flagship, Zarvok watched in disbelief. His entire plan was collapsing. The humans were smaller, weaker in firepower, yet somehow stronger in strategy, coordination, and adaptability. They are impossible to predict, he muttered. Their minds work in ways I cannot comprehend. We must stop underestimating them. Elena knew the battle was far from over, but morale among the humans was high. Even damaged ships that had been cornered now moved with renewed confidence. Each victory, however small, reinforced their belief in their ingenuity and courage. She made another crucial move. Using the stealth drive, she infiltrated the alien fleet's central communication hub. With a calm voice, she spoke directly to the alien officers. This is not a war for domination. It is a war for survival and understanding. If you continue this path, many will suffer. But if you cooperate, we can work together to preserve life across this galaxy. The message was unexpected. Some alien officers hesitated, unsure of how to respond. Their usual confidence in commands and hierarchy was shaken by the boldness and logic of the human words. Even Zarvok found himself pausing, his mind weighing the possibility that humans were not just fighters. They were thinkers, planners, and leaders in ways he had never experienced. Despite their losses, the Cathari regrouped and attempted another attack. Zarvok personally led the strike with his flagship, confident that he could end the human threat. But Elena had anticipated this. She set up a trap near a dense field of dying stars. The humans drew the flagship into the field, where gravitational anomalies slowed its movements. Target the engines, she ordered. We need to immobilize it without destroying it. Let him learn that humans fight differently. The humans launched a series of electromagnetic pulses that temporarily disabled the flagship's engines. Zarvok's ship floated, unable to maneuver while the humans struck from multiple angles, disabling weapon systems and creating confusion. Zarvok roared in frustration. "This is impossible. How can one species think like this?" Elena remained calm. "Commander Zarvok, humans have survived because we learn, adapt, and work together. We anticipate challenges and act with intelligence, not just strength. This is why you are stunned. This is why we survive." The Cathari fleet, witnessing their commander's flagship immobilized, began to falter. Ships slowed, hesitated, and some even retreated. Morale had broken. The humans' unpredictability, combined with their courage and skill, had turned the tide of the battle. Hours turned into a full galactic cycle. By the end of the day, the humans had not only survived, they had inflicted devastating losses on the Cathari fleet. Yet they did so without unnecessary destruction. Elena's goal was clear: survival, influence, and proving that humans were a force to be reckoned with, not through sheer firepower but through intelligence, strategy, and compassion. On the Cathari flagship, Zarvok called a council meeting. "We have underestimated humans," he admitted. "They are not just soldiers, they are thinkers, strategists, and problem solvers. Our methods will not work against them. We must learn to anticipate and adapt, or we will continue to lose." His officers nodded, some with fear, others with respect. The humans had forced the most formidable commander in the galaxy to rethink everything. A single stealth ship had not only survived impossible odds, it had changed the course of a battle and perhaps the future of the galaxy itself. Elena addressed her crew once more, her voice calm but filled with determination. "We have shown them what humans are capable of. But this is only the beginning. The galaxy will test us again, and we must be ready. Remember, it is our mind, courage, and unity that will lead us forward. The enemy may have numbers, but we have something far stronger: intelligence and determination." The humans prepared to vanish into the darkness once more. The Shadow Falcon led its fleet toward uncharted regions, ready to strike again wherever the galaxy needed them. The Cathari, stunned and confused, were left to reconsider everything they thought they knew about war. For the first time, humans had turned the tide, and the galaxy was beginning to realize, when humans fight, it is not just with weapons, it is with the power of their mind. The battle was far from over, but the balance had shifted. The Cathari fleet, once proud and unchallenged, now moved cautiously, wary of every human maneuver. Commander Zarvok paced the floor of his flagship, his mind a storm of confusion and frustration. Humans were unlike any enemy he had faced. Their unpredictability, creativity, and unity made them nearly impossible to defeat through conventional methods. "They are too clever," Zarvok growled, his scaled face tight with tension. "Even with our numbers, they can outmaneuver us at every turn. What are they?" Vrel, his most trusted officer, studied the display of the scattered fleet. "Commander, they are not just ships and weapons. Humans fight with intelligence, courage, and adaptation. They anticipate our moves before we make them. We are outmatched in strategy." Zarvok's claws clenched. He had faced countless enemies, conquered systems, and shattered fleets, yet these humans were teaching him humility. The Shadow Falcon, that singular stealth ship, had shattered his confidence and exposed the weaknesses of his entire strategy. Across the battlefield, Captain Elena Rourke observed the remaining Cathari forces. Her fleet, though small and battered, had proven that humans could fight not only with courage but with ingenuity. Every maneuver had been calculated, every strike precise. "We've brought them to this point," she said softly to her crew. "Now we need to force them to make a choice: continue the fight and lose more, or see reason and survive." Elena's voice was calm, but inside, her mind raced with calculations. The Cathari still had ships, numbers, and powerful weapons, but they also had pride, a pride that could be used against them. She directed her stealth fleet toward a dense asteroid belt, using it as cover. From there, they launched a series of precision strikes on critical alien systems, navigation cores, weapon arrays, and communication hubs. Each strike was careful, intended to disable rather than destroy, to demonstrate power without unnecessary cruelty. The Cathari officers aboard the flagship watched in disbelief. Ships that had seemed untouchable were suddenly crippled. Orders to regroup were slow, confused, and often contradictory. Zarvok's confidence, so hard-earned through decades of conquest, was slipping. "Why are they not destroying us completely?" one officer demanded. "They could end the fleet with a single strike." Elena's reasoning was clear. she understood that fear alone was not enough to create lasting change. Humans fought not just to win, but to teach, to show strength without needless destruction. Their actions were a lesson in strategy and morality combined. Zarvok realized that brute force would not work. He had underestimated the human ability to think creatively under pressure, to adapt, and to coordinate flawlessly under impossible odds. The more he observed, the more he recognized that humans were not merely another species. They were a new kind of threat, one that relied on intelligence and ingenuity rather than numbers alone. Determined to take control, Zarvok decided to confront the humans directly. He prepared his flagship for a high-speed interception of the Shadow Falcon. The plan was simple: force the human captain into surrender through overwhelming firepower. Elena, however, had anticipated this move. She monitored Cathari communications and adjusted her course, leading the alien flagship into a carefully chosen battlefield near a dying star. Gravitational anomalies and unpredictable energy bursts made navigation dangerous, even for the Cathari's advanced systems. "This is their trap," her first officer said nervously. "If we miscalculate, we could be trapped too." Elena smiled slightly. "Then we calculate better, keep the shields steady, weapons ready, and trust our instincts. We can use this environment to our advantage." The Cathari flagship followed the human ship into the chaos of the dying star system. Energy beams reflected unpredictably, and gravity wells pulled ships in strange directions. Zarvok's engines struggled to compensate, and his carefully planned assault faltered. From her hidden position, Elena struck with precision. Torpedoes disabled the flagship's main engines, and electromagnetic pulses temporarily shut down weapon systems. Zarvok's ship was trapped, unable to maneuver or strike effectively. "This is impossible," Zarvok roared. "How can one species be so perfect?" Elena's voice came over the calm and confident. "Commander Zarvok, humans survive because we plan, adapt, and act with intelligence. We fight to protect, not just to dominate. You see the difference now, don't you?" The Cathari soldiers on the flagship were stunned. Their once invincible commander was trapped by a human mind. For the first time, they saw humans not just as opponents, but as equals in strategy, intelligence, and courage. Doubt spread among the officers, some questioning their orders, others watching with respect. Zarvok clenched his claws. Pride and anger warred within him. He could destroy the Shadow Falcon with a desperate move, but he also knew that reckless action would risk losing even more ships. The humans had forced him to consider an alternative: cooperation. After a tense silence, Zarvok spoke. "Enough! Stand down, all units. We will not continue this attack for now." The decision shocked his officers. They had expected annihilation, yet the humans had shown them a different kind of power, one that did not rely on sheer destruction, but on intelligence, adaptability, and moral strength. Elena deactivated the stealth systems, revealing the Shadow Falcon to the Cathari fleet. Its black hull glimmered against the dying star, a symbol of human ingenuity and determination. She spoke calmly, her voice steady and unwavering. "Commander Zarvok, the galaxy does not belong to one species alone. Humans fight to survive, to protect, and to inspire cooperation. If you choose to continue aggression, you will face consequences. But if you choose understanding, we can work together for the future." Zarvok's scaled face softened, though he remained cautious. For decades, he had relied on fear, strength, and strategy to control the galaxy. Now, a single human captain had forced him to reconsider everything he knew. "Your words are bold," Zarvok admitted. "But perhaps there is wisdom in them. We will retreat and reconsider our approach. Humanity is unlike any species I have faced." Across the battlefield, human ships regrouped, ready to move if needed, but their mission had succeeded. The Cathari were no longer advancing, and the humans had demonstrated that courage, intelligence, and strategy could overcome even overwhelming odds. Elena addressed her crew, her voice filled with quiet pride. "We have shown them what humans are capable of. This is only the beginning. The galaxy may try to challenge us again, but we are ready. Remember, it is our mind, courage, and unity that make us strong. Weapons alone cannot win wars, strategy and heart will." As the humans moved away from the system, the Cathari fleet repaired its damaged ships and withdrew. Zarvok remained aboard his flagship, deep in thought. For the first time, he faced an enemy he could not predict, and a species whose ingenuity had forced him to rethink the rules of war. The Shadow Falcon and its fleet vanished into the darkness, leaving the Cathari to wonder what other surprises humanity might bring. Across the galaxy, other races watched in awe as the story of humans spread, a species small in number but enormous in courage, creativity, and intelligence. Elena reflected on the events. Humans had survived not because of numbers or brute force, but because they adapted, learned, and fought together. They had used their minds as weapons, their courage as shields, and their strategy as armor. The galaxy had witnessed the rise of a species that would change its destiny forever. And in the silent void of space, the humans moved forward, not as conquerors, but as protectors, strategists, and leaders. The Shadow Falcon glimmered among the stars, a reminder that intelligence, unity, and courage could defy even the greatest of odds. The galaxy would never forget this battle, for it had proven one simple truth. When humans fight, they fight not just with weapons, but with the power of their mind, the strength of their will, and the courage of their heart. Humanity had arrived, and the stars themselves seemed to acknowledge it.